بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. On that day, on the Yawm al-Qiyamah, nothing will benefit the human being except the one who brings a sound heart. In other words, the only thing that's going to benefit you, it will not be your wealth, nor will it be your children, which was the Jahili concept of what benefited you in the dunya. In the akhirah, suddenly the criterion changes. It's no longer a dunyawi criterion, it's a ukhrawi criterion, and that is a sound heart. If you do not have a sound heart, then you better get one. If you do not have a sound heart, salamat al-qalb. And if we're backbiting, that's a sign we don't have a sound heart. If we're cheating, we don't have a good heart. If we're not fulfilling the obligations that Allah has commanded us to fulfill, we don't have a good heart. All of the things that distance us from Allah are indications that the heart has work to be done. That is the first and foremost concern of the human being, is his own heart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّ السَّمْعَ وَالْبَصَرَ وَالْفُؤَادَ كُلُّ أُولَٰئِكَ كَانَ عَنْهُ مَسْئُولًا. The sound itself, the sight itself, and the heart itself, all of them man has been made responsible for. Allah begins with hearing, because hearing is the most difficult to guard. I came into New York City, and I'll tell you something. Going from Mecca to Jeddah was like going from paradise to the gates of paradise. Going from Jeddah to Morocco was like going to a place where I could see paradise off in the distance, but I definitely wasn't in it. And then getting to New York was like a descent into the bowels of hell. And there's no exaggeration about that. Because suddenly, everybody around me was using foul language. It's unbelievable. The only time they don't use foul language is if they're serving you something. Everybody, I was standing waiting for the bus, and I hear two people talking, and I wanted to plug my ears. And that's what Imam al-Awza'i used to do when he saw people of bid'ah. And these people, it was so foul, every other word was a foul language. And the mu'min is laysa bi badha in the hadith. The mu'min does not use foul language, nor should he hear it. You have to protect, because now those words ring in the heart. They ring. They have a resonance because you're hearing filth. And you get polluted by it. So you have to guard the ears. And the danger of the ear is that it's aural. It's circular, it's not linear. The eye, you can divert your gaze. If you see something haram, you can look away. Allah has given the ability with the ear. And this is why in the Quran, Allah always mentions the ear first. Because the ear is more difficult, and the ear is a faster and more direct line to the heart than the eye itself. And then you have to guard the eye, because the eye is a mirror. It's a window into the heart. The eye is a window into the heart. But first and foremost, the heart itself is more important than anything else that the human being has been given. And so we have to purify our hearts. And now, I'm based on Qadi Abu Bakr ibn al-Arabi's methodology, which is the methodology of the Messenger of Allah. This is how we do it. And it's not difficult and it's not complicated. The second most important thing is the limbs. So you have the heart and the limbs. This is our concern as human beings. Al-Jawarih. The heart and the limbs. You have to guard your limbs. How do you guard your limbs? Listen to the hadith. According to the hadith, every morning, all of the limbs shake in the presence of the tongue. And they say, Ya lisan, ittaqillah fina, in a'wajajta, a'wajajna, wa in astaqamta, astaqamna. O tongue, fear Allah concerning us. If you're straight, we're all straight. And if you go crooked, we all go crooked. Because the tongue is called tarjuman al-qalb. The tongue is the interpreter of the heart. And the tongue is the most dangerous organ in the destruction of the human being. And this is why the Messenger of Allah said, are people dragged on their faces and their noses, or their noses in the hellfire, other than the harvest of their tongues? Other than the harvest of their tongues. Our Messenger of Allah, upon him prayers and peace, said, if you guarantee for me what is between your two thighs and your two jaws, I will guarantee for you paradise. if you guarantee for me what is between your two thighs and your two jaws, I will guarantee for you paradise. And this is iffa concerning the bestial nature of man. In other words, it's purity of our bestial nature, which is to explore our human sexuality in areas that Allah has permitted it, and to avoid areas that are impermissible. And then it is to honor our angelic nature, which is the ability to articulate, which raises us above the beast. Because we are called, according to the Arab scholars, al-insan al-natiq, al-hayawan al-natiq, the articulating animal. This is the gift. Ar-Rahman, allama al-Quran, khalaqa al-insan, allamahu al-bayan. The merciful taught the Quran, created the human being, and then gave him bayan, the ability to speak and understand, which is the basis of understanding and interpreting the